Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. I haven't done a haul video in about a month, and in the past month I've done some CD shopping, mostly at Looney Tunes in Babylon. I've talked about that store. It's an amazing store, and they're one of the few record stores that run sales. So sometimes they do 20%, 30%, 40%, even 50% off sales on used vinyl and used CDs, and when they do, I can just go crazy. I really got to hold myself back. So most of these stuff are from those sales over the last month. I've done 3 major binges there, July 4th, June 23rd, and June 20th. So most of these are from that store. And like I said, all of the prices you're going to see, because I'm going to show you the prices that I paid. But on top of that, I typically got about 40% off on each one. So I got some really good deals. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it. I got a good Stone shirt on here. Let's talk about the Stones. I picked up Goat's Head Soup again, and you're like, really? Well, this is the newest edition, the one that was remixed by Giles Martin that came out in the big box set. And this is the 2 CD version, including rarities and alternate mixes, and then a remix of the album. Now I have, how many versions do I have Goat's Head Soup? I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my 7th version of Goat's Head Soup. So Goat's Head Soup, if you don't know, was the first Stones album I ever bought when it first came out in '73 when I was 10 years old. And I would say that is probably my second most listened to album of all time. I still listen to it pretty regularly. Sticky Fingers is probably my #1 most listened to album. Now, you're like, well, I didn't have that. Well, I got 7 versions. Of course, I bought this mega box set when it came out. Call me crazy, and I probably am. Let me know if you were like this. Do you ever buy these big box sets, but they're just like a pain in the ass to get into and pull them out? So for that, was $7.99 plus 40% off. I figured it's a lot easier to pull that off the shelf than that, even though what's in there is already in the box. I know, it's nutty. Speaking of nutty, but this was kind of a cool find. So in 1975, the Stones released the album Rolled Gold, a European import, right? Not ever released in the United States. This is a pretty famous album. It was a huge hit overseas. In fact, so Hot Rocks and more Hot Rocks in the United States, especially Hot Rocks, is the largest selling Stones album of all time. Came out in '73. But Hot Rocks is a U.S.-only release at the time, was not released overseas. So overseas, they released Rolled Gold, which was not released over here. A couple of years ago, they put out this CD called Rolled Gold Plus, which was a compilation of the whole Rolled Gold album, plus other tracks that weren't on it, probably on Rolled Gold Volume 2, or maybe more Hot Rocks. They kind of put it all together. There's a lot of songs on Rolled Gold Plus. But I never had it. It's a very expensive CD and not easy to find. But I finally went for it just for completion purposes. I had it for $14.99 and 40% off. So it was a good deal. So yeah, I picked up Rolled Gold Plus. Not that I needed it, but I needed it because I didn't have it except the original on vinyl. Oh, what the hell. So there you go. We can keep moving with the Stones. Here's another Stones album I've got. This is one of those Russian pirated bootleg type things. Greatest Hits Part 2. I don't usually buy these, but it was $5.99 plus 40% off, and the track listing was great, and I already played it, and I'm like, yeah, they did a really good job. This is a terrific one. There's also a Greatest Hits as well. So I picked that one up as well. Let's keep going. Now, they have a dollar bin over there that's phenomenal. And I'm always finding stuff, and then when it's 40% off, it's like 60 cents. So I got a bunch of dollar ones. Todd Rundgren, in fact, I just read a great book on Todd Rundgren on Jawbone Press. It was his whole history of as a producer and a recording artist, and it goes album to album, not only his albums, but all the ones they produced. It was great. And they talked a lot about this one called Faithful, and it's a Rundgren album I never had, but they had it there for 99 cents plus 40% off. It's kind of an interesting collection because the first half are cover versions, and they're almost like cover reproductions. They sound good, but it's nothing that I'm thrilled with. But the second side is terrific. They're just classic after classic, of which most of those songs I know, especially they were on like Back to the Bars, the live record. So a good Rundgren collection for 99 cents plus 40% off. Speaking of which, they had this Jackson Browne album called Holdout. I remember when this came out. I actually had it back in the day, I think on 8-track. and then got rid of it, and now it's back in the catalog. Some really good songs. Hold Out, That Girl Could Sing, Boulevard, Hold On, Hold Out, Call Alone. It's a really good Jackson Browne album, and for 60 cents, nice to have it back. Let's keep going. What about this one? Live Ryman, Paul Simon in concert. I'm a big Paul Simon fan, and yeah, I already had this album for decades, but I never had it on CD. It's the only Paul Simon album I didn't have on CD, so now I'm dumping the vinyl. And I already dumped the vinyl, actually, and now I have it on CD. I got this a while back. So let's put that one over yonder over there for $2.99 plus 40% off. Speaking of which, to fill out the CD collection, Ronnie Wood, Now Look, this was only 99 cents, and this was on the, Warner Brothers. They put this out again. This is his second album that originally came out in 75. You're like, I didn't have this? Of course I had it. Here it is. I got the vinyl, I think, in 76, actually. And this is the original vinyl. It's kind of a funky Ronnie Wood album. Bobby Womack is all over it. This is the album that's got Breathe on Me, which I love that song. But I never had it on CD. So now I have every Ron Wood album on CD except for one. I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, which I have on vinyl, which I think is his worst album. So now, coming back into the Alan Rosenberg show are these two albums, and these were both $1 as well, plus 40% off. This was Enya. I had these back in the day, and I enjoyed them, but then to make room, I just dumped them, figured I'd never listen to them again. And I'm getting more and more into jazz and more ambient kind of music sometimes, and I kind of miss these albums, so I picked them both up. We got Enya's Watermark and Enya's Shepherd Moons. And they're both really good, relaxing albums. Like I said, I had them in the past. This is the one that's got Orinoco Flows on it, and this is Shepherd Moon. And I listened to this, and you know what? I had earlier this week, I put this album on. I came home from work, and I was stressing, and it did the trick. I was like, this is really good, relaxing music. So, Enya, back in the Alan Rosenberg show after she got the boot a while back. Now, a bunch of bootlegs I've been picking up. These stores don't typically get them, but they got a bunch of, especially from the Kinks. And I got a whole slew of bootlegs. So let me show you what I got. This is a legendary Kinks bootleg, and it's fantastic. It's called Midlife Crisis. I've had bits and pieces of it on other Kinks bootlegs, but this is the whole show, and it was only $3.99 plus 40% off. This is a very famous show from the Winterland Ballroom in San Francisco in 1977. That's the year of Sleepwalker. Sleepwalker is, if not my favorite Kinks album, it's way up there, and it's certainly a really special one for me. And this is the whole show, and it's in great, it just sounds perfect. It must have been a radio broadcast. And it's a great set list. They cover a ton of Sleepwalker, which I love. And then after this concert's over, it goes into a whole bunch of stuff from London, England in 75 from the soap opera tour. And that's what's on the end of side of disc 2. This is a great, great Kinks bootleg. And like I said, I've had bits and pieces of it for a long time. But now it's nice to have the whole thing. This is another one called The Kinks Paranoia and Destroyer. And this is a legendary radio show from the Fox Theater in St. Louis from 88. I actually have this on cassette because it was a national radio broadcast. And now I dumped the cassette because I now have it on CD. So this is what I call an upgrade. Another great bootleg, great show. Thrilled to have that on CD. Here's another one. This was called The Kinks 12 Inches or More, and this is a bootleg, but it's also some officially released stuff like 12-inch mixes and B-sides that are hard to find and some demos. And it was a really, really enjoyable listen. I totally liked it. And this is an interesting one. This is one that I picked up today at the flea market. I already played it. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live in the 80s from the Petty Archives. And this is a nice compilation of stuff recorded in 1980, as well as My Father's Place in 77, some other stuff. And man, the quality is just great. So fantastic. They got a couple of the song titles wrong, which I fixed. But Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live in the 80s. And like I said, I literally picked that one up today. So that was a really, really cool find. I loved it. This is a cool one. This is the Outlaws. This is when the Outlaws got Henry Paul back in the band, and this is from the Birchmere, Alexandria, Virginia, May 19th, 2005. And the cool thing about this CD is actually it's an official release, and that is a real autograph. That's Huey Thomason, guitarist from the band who's since deceased. And I guess the Huey Thomason estate is releasing these concerts from the soundboard. And this one is actually autographed. So really cool. And that is the set list. It starts off a little rough, but then it kicks. And great, this is the Outlaws with Henry Paul, which is what I really like. So that's a really good show, and thrilled to have it. The Outlaws. What else do I have? Well, these are the ones I haven't gotten to yet. And this is Ray Davies and band called The National Icon. It was $3.99 plus 40% off. And a great set list. And I don't know if this is soundboard. It's certainly not a radio show. And this is recorded in 2004. But a great set list. And we will see how it is. Hopefully it'll be good. Let's hope. Let's hope. That's all we can do. You never know. All right, let's keep going. This is an interesting one. I'm a fan of Boston, not a big fan, but you don't really see a lot of Boston bootlegs out there. And this is a Boston bootleg. Great graphics. It was $5.99 plus 40% off. Live from the Cellular Coliseum in Bloomington, 2008. I don't know if this is an audience recording or a soundboard. We will find out, but it's got a good set list. And it's got some walk on there, so it will be fun. Hopefully, it's just fun to dig into live stuff. And like I said, you'd never really see Boston live, so we'll see. Going back, they had a 99-cent section that you never know what you're going to find. They had this one, Elvis, An Afternoon in the Garden. I do not listen to Elvis all that much, but for 99 cents and 40% off, so it was like 60 cents. It's got a full loaded disc, really thick booklet, and I thought, what the hell, Elvis? I guess you're worth 60 cents. Hopefully we'll see if that's a good one. This should be interesting, I hope. I love live albums. Live albums are great summations of people's careers, but it's also, for me, always been a great gateway into a band. And this is a band I've heard a lot about, the Stereophonics, big overseas, pretty much unknown here in the United States. And this is one called Stereophonics, live from Dakota. And if you can see, it says 99 cents, plus it was 40% off. So this cost me 60 cents, and it's a 2-CD set. I have heard Kelly Jones. He's the singer in the band. I think he's on a Who album that I have. But I'm looking forward to listening to this because I don't know the Stereophonics at all. And we'll see if I like it. They had other Stereophonics albums in the 99-cent bin as well, but I wanted to start off with the live record. And a 2-CD live album for 99 cents plus 40% off. Great deal. So hopefully I will enjoy it. If not, wasn't a big risk, right? I love Sheryl Crow, and this is now that she had put out called Live from the Ryman in Nashville. I actually went to a show at the Ryman, not her. And what a great venue. So this was a cool set list. It was only $4.99 plus 40% off. And a great mixture of old and classics and new stuff and some covers. Really look forward to listening to this and having this into my collection. And it was a great price. How about this is a cool find? I found this one today at the flea market. This was only $1. This is John Anderson's classic, Elias of Sunhillow. I had this on vinyl back in the day, and I got rid of it at some point. I don't know why, and I always kind of kicked myself. So the vinyl's a lot better because it's got that big booklet. I still remember it. But this is for $1 on Atlantic, and this is a British import or a European import of it. So it was a good find. I've never seen this out in the wild before for so cheap. So that was kind of a cool find. And I do not want to have a major collapse here, David. Stay there, fella. Stay there. We almost had a collapse, folks, but we didn't, so that's good. All right, let's keep going as we start winding down these 23 CDs. This was another $1 CD I found. This was a sequel album. This was Dan Fogelberg and Tim Weisberg. No resemblance whatsoever. I have the classic Twin Sons of Different Mothers. This is the sequel, and for whatever reason, I was missing it in my collection of Dan Fogelberg. It was only 99 cents plus 20% off. 40% off. So what the hell? And we got 3 more left. This was a cool find. This thing is sealed. This is Asia, the real Asia, the original Asia. This is called Resonance, and this is the original band, of course, with Jeffrey Downs and Steve Howe and Carl Palmer and John Wetton. 2 CD and a DVD live in Basel, Switzerland in 2010. Great set list. This is when they reunited and were touring for the new albums. And I, as a fan, I saw these shows, and they were terrific. So it's a great mixture of the classics, a couple of tracks from the newer albums, which were good, and it's a DVD and 2 CDs, and this was $9.99 plus 40% off. So it was like $6 and change. So that was a thrilling find. Glad I found that one. All right, we got 2 more left. This was one that I'm missing from the catalog, Blackmore's Night. I'm a big fan. This is called Winter Carols, and this is their, Christmas stuff. And believe it or not, around the Christmas season, it is fun to put these kind of CDs on. So I figured, why not? Blackmore's Night, Winter Carols, and I think I got this for like $3 or $4. And because I was missing this, pretty much the only Blackmore's Night album I think I'm missing. I think I'm missing one other one. So pick that one up, and then there is one more that I picked up, and this is a really cool find and expensive for me. And this is Black Oak, Arkansas. It's called The Complete Raunch and Roll Live. Now, I have Raunch and Roll on vinyl, but it's just a single album. This thing is like a 2 CD set that's completely loaded. And this is a really, really hard to find CD that's out in the wild. And you can see it's completely loaded, 2 discs. And this is some raunchy ass rock and roll from Black Oak, Arkansas, back in their prime. And yeah, it was $19.99. I wouldn't have spent that normally, but 40% off, so so that was a much better deal. But this is a really cool find, and I had to pick it up because this is what I call once in a lifetime. I'll never find this out in the wild again. I never had seen this before, so that was a really cool find. So there you have it, folks. There are the 23 CDs I picked up over the last month. You got a great mixture. You got bootlegs. You got live recordings. You got great 99-cent CDs, some Rolling Stone stuff, Asia, Black Oak, Arkansas. Some pretty good finds. I think you will agree. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you had a great weekend. As always, if you're new to my channel, please hit subscribe. Check out my other videos. There's a playlist here, and it is like, 400 videos, give or take. And, I realized I didn't do a haul video in a month because I went to hauls. And there's a whole playlist of hauls, and there's the last one was a month ago. So, there you go. There's a lot to dig in here, and I hope you enjoy it. As always, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'll see you next time, and let me know your thoughts on these pretty cool finds. Stereophonics, let me know what you think of them, because I know I have a bunch of viewers from overseas, and I'm sure you know them well. Thanks so much again. Have a great night. See you around.